In this video, we'll find out how the environment affects your productivity. Distractions are the modern-day Bonnie and Clyde. They rob of needed time. It's impossible to be productive when you allow yourself to be surrounded by distraction, and yes, it is a choice. While there's little you can do when the boss appears at your office door, we've already discussed scheduling that into your routine, spend a day making a list of the things that eat away at your time, then eliminate them. The head of the gang of thieves is, of course, social media. It can creep up on you before you even realize it. Let's say you've rolled up your sleeves and are preparing to work on that major report. Before you begin, you're going to quickly check your emails. That's when you notice a notification that your friend has posted on Facebook. No harm in quickly taking a look, is there? On Facebook, you chuckle at your friend's post, then notice a few links to some interesting-looking YouTube postings. Well, since you're here anyway, an hour later, your report is still untouched as you click your way through YouTube. This happens to everyone. Social media is addictive. People waste hours every day on mindless clicks. You're being robbed and no guns are involved. Just think of how you could use that extra time in a productive way. You need to be proactive to keep this from happening. Delete social media apps from your phone. If you need those apps for business purposes, at least disable them when you're working. It's a natural response to want to respond to texts and messages immediately. Quick responses even rank high in terms of modern etiquette. It's allegedly rude not to respond as soon as possible. The fact is, Emily Post never had an iPhone. Let's consider it rude for someone to expect you to stop whatever you're doing immediately and focus your valuable time on them. Just a single response can ensnare you into a half-hour conversation. Don't fall into the trap. When working, either turn off your phone or engage airplane mode. Return any message when you are at lunch or on break. Some messages may be work-related and possibly urgent, at least to the sender. Get into the habit of checking your inbox at designated times, perhaps mid-morning and mid-afternoon, but don't let anyone else manage your time. Distractions don't only happen on social media, they appear in person. Coworkers who are eager for a friendly chat or a distraction in their own routine can appear at your desk unannounced. These can turn into long personal chats, from gossiping about a new employee to discussing the weekend's ball games. These coworkers are trying to be friendly, but they are interfering with your agenda. Politely but firmly tell them, "I'm in the middle of something crucial. How about we talk at lunch?" When managing your time, you need to set unapologetic and firm boundaries and remain in control of your action. Many of us feel that the more we do, the more we accomplish. We even brag about our ability to multitask. It's time to take a step back. Our brain isn't geared to concentrate on several things at once. When we try, our attention gets diluted and we end up concentrating half-heartedly on several things without focusing on one in particular. This is anything but efficient. Aim for ultimate management of your time by concentrating on one task at a time. Set a time limit for each task you need to complete and work within that time frame. One step or task at a time will get you to your goal in the best, more efficient way possible. You might not have thought of junk food as time robbers, but processed foods and sugars can deplete you of energy very quickly and make you less productive. Ignore the convenient snack machine in the lunchroom and pack some fruit or other healthy snacks for work. We face distractions everywhere, and few of us make the effort to control them. Once you become master of your own time, you will be less stressed and accomplish more. It's that simple. Learn how to focus. Focus is related to avoiding distractions, but it takes it several steps further. It's easy for our mind to wander, even if we aren't being continuously interrupted. We have a lot to do, and developing a razor-sharp focus for the important tasks isn't always easy. Our brain is like any other muscle in our body. If we don't keep it in shape, it becomes sluggish. It can also go in different directions at once. Have you ever tried to focus on a work project while your mind is ruminating about overdue bills, in-law problems, and where to go for dinner this coming weekend? We've all been there. Our mind can turn into a crowded subway train with no room to act. You feel like you're on a speeding train going nowhere fast. Focus means control. control of your thoughts and actions. Proper focus is a skill that can be learned and developed. Here are some proven methods to hone your focus, manage your time more efficiently, and become more productive. 1. Meditation calms an out-of-control mind. The best and easiest form of meditation is simply to find a comfortable spot, close your eyes, and focus on your breathing as you slowly inhale and exhale. When your mind starts to wander, and it will, return your focus to your breathing. Meditating is one of the best habits to develop when you are trying to achieve self-control. 15 minutes to half an hour a day is all it takes, and it's time well spent. When you are particularly stressed, you can take a time out and meditate just about anywhere. 2. While the effect of music on our subconscious is still being studied, there is reason to believe that music does affect our brain, especially the unconscious part. The type of music is probably a personal choice, but it shouldn't be too raucous. Music is abstract, and it is thought that the very abstraction helps the mind stay in focus. It engages us on an emotional level, so our mind isn't racing like an out-of-control horse when we listen. Instead, it is subconsciously processing information and keeping us focused. Imagine yourself sitting at home when you hear an unexpected noise. Whatever it is, it has your immediate attention, and all your focus is immediately directed to the sound you hear. Music works very much like that. It gathers your attention. You can use music to improve your focus in 2 ways. The first is to really listen to the exclusion of everything else. The second method is to use earphones and listen to your chosen music while commuting or engage in some other task. Doing so can help rid your mind of needless clutter. 3. If you're worried about time management, you probably have big goals, and big goals can be intimidating. How do you start that book, that company, or that project? It's easy to become so paralyzed you don't even start. That's not being productive. The trick to managing those huge goals is to break each one down into steps or chunks. It means understanding what smaller tasks need to be accomplished for you to attain your ultimate end goal. Writing a book may not seem achievable, but writing 5 pages each day is. Develop a timeline for each step leading to your goal. Running your own business can seem overwhelming. There's so much to do. Start by identifying smaller, more manageable goals. How will you develop and promote your product or your service? What is your financial plan? Create a reasonable, chronological timeline for each step that will move you ahead. With each step, you're moving your timeline forward. Have a specific period of time in mind for each step and work on that step until it's completed. There's a reason for the term climbing the ladder of success. It's the steps that complete the journey. 4. Take a break. It may seem contradictory to become more productive by doing less, but our bodies have a finite amount of energy, like a car. We need to refuel. To get more done in the time you have, take the occasional 15-minute break to regenerate the brain cells. Have you ever struggled with a problem just to give up and go to sleep? In the morning, the answer came to you as clear as a bell. Some people believe we find answers in dreams. The fact is, the brain can become overloaded. Rest can clear the haze in your mind and allow you to have full clarity. If you are watching this video, you are undoubtedly trying to become more productive by managing your time better. That's a great goal, but you really can't manage time. An hour will always consist of 60 minutes, and a day will have 24 hours. That can't be changed. So if you are lamenting, "I never have enough time," keep in mind you have the exact amount of time as everyone else. You can't manage time, but you can manage yourself by making better choices every day. With each choice you make, you can improve your life or make it more difficult. Proper goal setting is a major part of managing your time. However, it's critical not to confuse your end goal, the final result, with the steps designed to get you there. For example, let's say your boss has placed you in charge of finding new office space. That's the end goal. but the steps you take to go about achieving that goal will make a huge difference. You can do research and prepare a list of all available commercial space to present to the boss. This will probably take a few days, and you're not even close to the end goal, which is finding a new office for your particular company. You've started the project, but you've wasted time as well. If you were to handle the assignment with an eye on better time management, you would start with a list of needed information. What neighborhood would be best? What is the monthly rent and utility budget? This information can be gathered in minutes, hopefully from the boss himself, and it will narrow down your project and save you days of needless searching. Keeping the end goal in mind always saves you time. Have the necessary information at hand before you begin the actual work. It will eliminate a lot of steps along the way. In this video, we'll discover how to get to know yourself. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses. No one is equally good or bad at everything. But if you don't know what your weaknesses and strengths are, you could be blindsiding yourself. Becoming more self-aware is the first step to becoming more productive. For example, you may be very analytical, which means you are good at thinking through a problem to the end and seeing solutions. But that same strength could turn you into a perfectionist. If you are a decisive person, you are great at making decisions, but you may not think a problem through entirely before taking action. When you get to know yourself better, you can amplify your talents and minimize weaknesses. This will help you work at maximum efficiency without wasting time. They say that we have three selves: how the world sees us, how we see ourselves, and how we really are. To work with and enhance your strengths, make an honest list of what you consider your strengths and weaknesses. Keep an open mind and remain honest. We're all familiar with the favorite interview question, what are your weaknesses? The beaming interviewee, of course, answers, I always seem to take on too much. I feel like I want to do everything. Can you identify the weakness? Our interviewee is, in effect, stating that she is disorganized and unable to focus on one thing. She cannot manage her time, or perhaps her life, properly. After creating your list of strengths and weaknesses, ask yourself about your general mindset. A mindset is how we view the world. This usually involves pessimism versus optimism. These attitudes eventually shape our goals and determine how much we get done. Optimistic people are open to learning and trying new things. That's a critical element to better self-management. You need to believe that being more productive is possible. Optimism, the attitude that things can get done, will help increase your productivity in many ways. Think of it as a secret weapon or a powerful tool in managing your time. It really is true that if you think you can, you will. That same optimism can help you get the best performance out of those who work for you. Instead of maintaining the mindset of, this is how we've always done it, you can change people's thinking to, this is how we could do things better. To help you gain greater self-awareness, it can be helpful to ask people whom you trust for honest feedback. With so many demands on our precious time, becoming more self-aware is an essential tool for managing your life and your time better. Determine what you really want. It's hard to be productive if you don't know what you want to achieve. What really matters to you? The answer is critical if you want to manage your time better. It's viewing the broad picture that is your life to get the most out of it. For example, if you determine your family is what matters most, then you will find ways to increase the time you spend with them. If, on the other hand, all you truly want to be is the head of your company, you will know where to devote your time most effectively. In the bustle of ordinary life, we can easily lose track of what is genuinely important to us. When the rent is due, maybe you forgot how badly you once wanted to be a writer. You spend time worrying, talking to friends, perhaps chugging some beer. Anything that doesn't involve you managing your time and life better. The following exercise can be very helpful. Get a notebook and write down the question. If there were no obstacles, what would I be doing right now?
Ask that question several times during the week. Don't think or analyze. Just let your pen flow or fingers move across the keyboard. This is meant to get the blood flowing and provide you with an insight or two. Once you've determined what's important, you can start planning your time accordingly. No more wasting the day on important tasks when the important ones are left behind, neglected, and forgotten. What are your daily habits? We don't mean to get you nervous, but you may be living with a killer. But not to worry, you can take control of the situation. Nothing kills productivity and wastes time like bad habits. Bad habits can sabotage your life in the most spectacular way. Habits are the things we do every day routinely without thinking. It's when we function on autopilot, such as brushing our teeth, driving to work, preparing dinner. Habits are the small things you do every day, and they can add up to the sum of your life. Let's look at some time-killing bad habits. 1. Not planning each day. If you don't schedule your important tasks, you have no idea what you'll be doing on any given day. Your day will be running you instead of the other way around. Would you drive across country without a map? You might get somewhere eventually, but you will likely be taking the long, scenic route. Schedule your day the night before. Unexpected interruptions do happen, but a schedule will help keep you on track and help you manage your time more effectively. 2. It goes without saying that being disorganized wastes time. Spend a good portion of each hour hunting down the things you need is a major time killer. There is a time management rule that says handle a piece of paper only once. When you check the mail, answer immediately or toss it. Don't let paperwork accumulate all over the place like some paper blizzard. Have one specific spot or folder for items to be dealt with at another time. 3. Procrastination steals time from your day the way Billy the Kid stole money from banks, brutally and relentlessly. Understand that procrastination is a choice. It's a bad habit, but you have the power to change it. 4. Many of us waste time resisting change. Whether it's preparing a meal in a new way or implementing a new policy at work, change makes us uncomfortable. There is great comfort in the known and predictable, but we will never reach our full productive capability if we don't keep an open mind and remain open to new ideas. Candle makers were resistant to electricity. That didn't work out well, did it? 5. Are you in the habit of seeing the glass as half empty? Negativity doesn't only set the tone for the day, but it can truly determine your life. It's been proven that positive salespeople make more sales. A positive mindset helps people perform at a much higher level. Both negativity and positivity begin with the mind. Whether you realize it or not, your thoughts are within your control. The next time you waste time fretting that the boss will hate your report, stop and change your thinking. A positive attitude would be, I put my best effort into this. It's a good report even if the boss makes some changes. The less you worry, the less time you waste. 6. When you carry the past into the present, you're toting a heavy load. We all have made mistakes. If you continue to dwell on them, you are slowing yourself down. You can't change the past. You can, however, change your reaction. Simply accept that everyone makes mistakes. There is no need to waste time going over the same memory. 7. Distractions are an obvious time killer. Modern technology was meant to save us time. However, checking email, social media, and other favorite sites can add up to hours of wasted time. The best way to stop being controlled by technology and to start being in control of your time is to have a schedule. Have a set time to return phone calls. Check email twice a day and simply turn off any social media functions. Of course, there are other distractions, chatting with coworkers, having the boss reprioritize your work, etc. The best way to handle these is to become aware of who and what is nipping away at your time. Spend a few days accounting for every interruption. Yes, that will be a bit time-consuming, but the effort will be well worth it. Once you have a clear picture of what or who is draining your time, you can be prepared. If coffee room chats are mounting, bring a thermos from home and avoid the area. If the boss keeps cutting into your to-do list, add extra spare time to accommodate his or her interruptions without being thrown off schedule. Let's consider your smartphone. Most of us couldn't imagine life without one, and they can be very useful. They can frequently save us time. If misused, however, they can eat up a considerable portion of our day. Smartphones can be so addictive, some people seem to have been permanently glued to their ear. Without a doubt, when you have encountered the following scene hundreds of times, a busy mother is dragging a toddler through the market while talking on her smartphone. Sure, she is undoubtedly busy, but how is she managing her time? She's trying to do three things at once, namely minding the child, shopping for dinner, and chatting on the phone. You may admire her for doing it all, but what exactly is she doing? She's not paying the necessary attention to the toddler. She's shopping while being distracted and will likely forget something, and she's only able to pay partial attention to her phone call and will miss important parts of it. Sadly, this busy woman is not managing her time well. If possible, she should leave the child with a trusted sitter. If that's not feasible, at the very least, she can avoid the distraction of the phone call and pay attention to what she's doing. It's virtually impossible to manage your time well with a cell phone at your ear. Learning to say no enables you to manage your time more effectively. Productive people are usually eager to do things, but you must know where to draw the line. If you agree to every task someone, including the boss, asks you to do, you will become overwhelmed and get less done. Don't be afraid to say, "I'm too busy to handle this right now." Don't allow yourself to get bogged down with inconsequential details. An estate planning attorney spent at least 15 minutes before each and every will and trust signing, contemplating whether to provide a blue or black pen. Others can stew over the best color for labels. Ask yourself, does this really matter? Most of us are so used to our own behavior, it's easy to remain unaware of the bad habits that keep us from optimal performance. That's why self-awareness is such a critical time management tool. Awareness is the first step to changing a bad habit into a good, rewarding habit.
In this video, we'll learn the secrets to managing people around you. Congratulations, you're the boss. It's an important career step, but the reality is you are now responsible not only for managing your own time, but that of those people reporting to you. Regardless of how well you do your job, if your team isn't supportive, you are wasting time and manpower. It's not surprising that studies have found that the most important thing to employees is job satisfaction. They need to know what they do matters. If they feel unappreciated, they will not work at their full potential, which means they are wasting both your and their own time. Employees who are satisfied with their jobs will remain loyal, which means there will be less turnover and less wasted time spent training replacements. Retaining talented workers is one of the best ways to manage your own time. It is the satisfied employees who will go the extra mile in getting work done on time and solving problems, thus freeing you up to do your own tasks. They are also the least likely to be negative complainers. As we have discussed, negativity sucks needed time out of the workplace. Office politics. As the boss, you need to stem politics at the office. This means avoid having favorites and creating jealousy among the ranks. Be alert to staff members who continuously feel the need to feed you negative information about others, such as, the report would have gotten done on time if Mary hadn't been late. The problem here is probably less Mary and more the person who is bad-mouthing her. When you remain aware of employees trying to undercut each other, you can more easily put an end to the problem. Not all employees are created equal. Hopefully, each employee will have his or her own strengths and weaknesses. When handing out assignments, giving the right job to the right person can save a lot of time. If you aren't sure of your people's area of expertise, either make it a point of asking during the job interview or during private meetings. You want your staff to remain motivated. Employees who are able to fully utilize their talents work in a more time-effective way than those who are struggling with the task at hand. Be aware of the workload. People should work hard, but it's counterproductive to overburden them. This is especially true if a select few, perhaps your better workers, get the lion's share of work while the rest are allowed to work at an easier pace. Assignments should be distributed equally. If someone has problems handling the task, they need to know that they can come to you for help and clarification. This will keep them from procrastinating and doing something poorly at the last minute or making excuses for not doing the job at all. Create a positive environment. Your office is a workplace and should be professional, but a congenial atmosphere helps people be more productive. It also creates a more open environment for better communication. For example, a Friday pizza delivery lunch for everyone in the conference room can help people relax. You may find out who's having problems outside the office, a sick spouse or child. Make things easier for him or her by not expecting too much overtime at such a point in time. Such an informal staff get-together also makes it easier for people to mention problems, if only in a joking way. Create new challenges. People can easily get bored with the same routine and simply lose interest. That translates into getting less done and more wasted time. Provide new challenges and opportunities for people to grow. An excellent way to open up the ideas for new opportunities is to use the informal Friday lunch get-together. Toss out the question, anyone have any bright idea of how we can improve things around here? You might be surprised at the responses. Compensate your employees. Employees who are poorly paid will not work at their full potential, thus wasting the company's time and resources. While there is a need for fair financial compensation, there are other ways to keep employees satisfied. Give credit where it's due and watch that person become twice as productive. If you're unable to manage a bonus, a half day off once a month is another way to reward your staff for excellent productivity. Think about it. Why would someone work to their full capacity if they have no incentive? Find out how employees spend their time. Even your most diligent workers may be inadvertently wasting their time without being aware they are doing so. Have your employees track their time for 2 weeks and review their schedule. They may be spending too much time on the wrong task. Don't be afraid to delegate. If you feel you need to micromanage everything, you are not being productive. Much of your valuable time will be spent looking over people's shoulders and performing tasks that someone else could and should be doing. This is very bad time management. If you have surrounded yourself with loyal employees, it's smart to use them. Many managers feel that no one can do certain jobs as well as they can. That is limited thinking. If you offer your staff new challenges and train them correctly, it can free up a large chunk of your time that can be put to better use. Effective time management means knowing when to let go. Start delegating small tasks. As you become more comfortable, increase the responsibility. If you've been following the advice in this chapter, you should be more aware of your staff's strengths. Use that to your advantage and assign new tasks that fall within the range of their capability. Provide clear directions and let them do the work. Trust them to do the job, but do periodically check in and confirm their progress. Communicate your expectations. We've discussed delegating work to your staff, but be sure you communicate your expectations clearly. I need a financial report on XYZ company that is far too vague to be effective, and you will likely find yourself disappointed. When assigning a task, be very clear on what you need and when you need it. Confirm that the person is able to handle the task in the time frame provided. Then, ask to be notified a day ahead of time in the event there are any problems. This should ensure that you will be provided with the necessary information when you expect it.